In the last video, I have shown how to create package. I hope that you follow every time the same process. I'm going to do it right now. Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So here, we're going to make the solution for quiz number 2 on inheritance for spring 2016. And this is about the graph problem. So here you are provided the class vertex. So let me first of all create a package. I'm going to create a package. So this is spring 2016 dot quiz number 2. And the first thing I will need here is the class vertex. Factor. So the class vertex has an ID and data and constructor, getter and setters and so on. So as you can see here, we have different type of edges. We have an edge that has no direction, which we call indirected edge, which is from V1, okay, between V1 and V2. There is no direction. So, and here we add the direction. So you can see there is a direction arrow from V1 to V2. So this is a directed edge from V1 to V2. It has a direction between the vertices. We can also add another thing that is the weight. The weight between two vertices. Okay? For example, the weight here is 3.85. So you can think about vertices as cities. And the weight is what? The distance between the cities. Okay? So usually we use a graph. For example, we can use a graph to find the shortest path between two cities. مثلا, if we go through different points. We can use some graph theory algorithms for doing so. So we can think about the weight as a distance between two different cities, or countries, or two different locations, or whatever. And here the fourth one is the weighted directed edge from V1 to V2. So it has a direction and it has a weight. It means we have to go from V1 to V2 and we cannot go in the other way. So this is a weight, it has direction. So my question here, are these edges related or independent from each other? Independent or related? They are related. Okay. What is the more general one? The most general one? The first one. So this one is very general. Okay? And then as long as we add attributes or parameters, it becomes more specific. So here we have added direction. So this one is more specific than this one. Okay? Because it's very important to understand. And now we are going to do programming, and we are going to do inheritance. So we need to understand what? The relations between these classes. Okay, so you can see now, this is more general. Inheritance, we start from general and we go to the specific. Okay, so this is more specific. This is also more specific than this one. Okay, and this one is more specific of all, because it has direction, it has a weight. So this is the strategy we're going to use and we're going to follow here. To represent this model, we need to develop 3 classes for the edge. So the first class, what is now the superclass? Edge, because it is the most general. So it is the superclass. Now we're going to start with creating the superclass edge. Okay, contains 2 attributes, vertex, first and second. So this is first, this is second. Okay, and it has a full argument constructor, a copy constructor, toString method that has the following format. Okay, let's start to do it. I don't go further. I'm going to use now edge. Yes? Private vertex first. ممتاز. okay, and private vertex second. So first and second are going to represent the edge, the first and the second and to that edge. Now we need to do a constructor, of course. Now we know how to make insert code. We can use getter and setters, okay, and then we can use a constructor here, edge vertex first, vertex second, set first, and set second. And it has a copy constructor. Okay, you know how to do it now. How to do it here? Okay, yes? Okay. Get first and E dot get second. Everybody did this? Okay.
I did the set.
Hmm?
Set first and set second.
You put here set? You use the set first and you can.
Set E dot.
I know, yeah. But try to use the good programming practices. Now, if we can use a constructor, we use a constructor. Okay? When you know something that is better than another thing, it's better to use it so that you improve your programming skills. The last thing we have to do is the toString method. Okay? Which the toString method, which should represent the string as follows. Here, what we should return? String.format. So here, this is the ID of the first one, which is an int. So we have person D here. Then I have to do this arrow like this. And then another person D. Okay. So what is the first person D? I can write first and second. I can write get first, get second. Okay. I can write these dot get first. Any of them, no problem. All of them equivalent.
First is the vertex, right?
Yes.
So we have to get the ID.
Yeah, we have to get the ID. It's true. Okay. So dot ID here and dot ID here. Dot get ID. Okay. So everything is fine now for this superclass edge. Now we will move to the next class that is called weighted edge. Same thing, but it has an additional attribute. Look here, I did not say weighted edge should inherit from edge and superclass. No, it's up to you to understand this relation. It's clear. Now I just said implicitly now there is inheritance by saying that there is an additional attribute. It's more specific, it's more concrete. So I'm going to reuse all the common attributes from the edge, and then I'm going to use an additional attribute related to the weight. Okay? So for doing so, we're going to create the class weighted edge. Okay? Extends edge. What we should write here? Before the constructor. The additional attribute here. Okay? I need to do weight here. Yes? I'm going to do a constructor. Okay, first of all, let me make the getter and setters. It's better to start with them. Insert code here. Letter and setter. Yes.
Then public weighted edge.
Public.
Vertex first. Vertex. Double weight.
Yes.
Super.
Mumtaz. First. Second. Wait.
Set weight.
Yeah. Here super is going to take only two parameters because here contains first and second. Then set weight. Okay. Copy constructor. Yeah, you have to make copy constructor now. Public. So how to make copy constructor? Yes. The easiest way.
This
Yeah.
first.
We can do like this. And we replace this by E dot WE dot get first WE dot. That's possible. But better than this is to use the keyword this, and we call other, because this here is going to call the superclass constructor. Is it clear? And then, so we completed full argument constructor, copy constructor, and then the toString method. And I have the following format. Let me just bring the toString method here. Can I use super.toString? How?
I just remove get first and get second. I just put super dot to string.
Okay.
Then the weight after that.
Okay. Where is the percent %S? Where is the percent %D?
First F is supposed to be so
Now, if you make super.toString, you're going to have this as a whole. Okay. So here we cannot use.
it cannot be used to get our format, right?
We cannot use here. لأنه التغيير جاي في الوسط. Okay. So here, this is an example where we cannot use super.toString. So I cannot use this one. I need to use percent point to F in between, and still keeping get first here and get second here. Is it clear? Okay, so you see that now it's not possible to use super.toString.
Why don't we use override? Or when do we use override?
In this kind of situation, we can use override.
Why is override?
This is just an annotation to tell that we have overridden or changed the definition of the function. But it's optional to write it in NetBeans or in Java in general, but it's good to write it anyway.
But sometimes there is an error if you don't write it.
There is warning. Usually there is a warning. Okay? So now we are done with the weighted edge. The third one is directed weighted edge. So there is no additional attributes here. Okay? There is no additional attribute. But you're going to define, because the attributes are first, second, and weight are the same. But here we're going to define 4 additional methods, and these methods, they have the purpose to define the direction. Look now. When we don't have direction, we say this is first and this is second. When we have direction, the first is the source and the second is the target. So when we use get source, get target, we define implicitly a direction. واضح؟ And first and second, okay, maybe you can say, but it's not clear the direction. But when we saw source and target, you know this is the end point, and source is the start point. Okay. So now let's try to do it. And is there any inheritance here in the directed weighted edge? Yes. We can extend weighted edge. ممتاز. Okay. So now we create this class, and then we do extends weighted edge. What is the additional attribute here? Yes?
We put first, second, vertex.
Yeah, I'm going to put here vertex. This is the name of parameter. I'm going to put like this. So do not confuse that with the name of attributes. Here you can write x, y, no problem. You can write a, b, c, it's not a problem. Anything you want. I'm going to add source to make more semantic to the name of the parameter. And here, target. So what I should write here now? Super, yes. Source, target, weight. So here in this case, source, this value is going to be assigned to the attribute first. Target is going to be assigned to the attribute second. And weight is going to be assigned to the attribute weight. Because here we have first, second, and weight. This is the superclass constructor.
So no need for set number?
Set for what?
Source and target.
We're going to, first of all, source and target are not attributes. So I can write this. Okay. They are not attributes, they are parameters. Write them in any way you want. You're not going to do get query. Does it make sense? Okay? But one moment. But here, what is requested is to define get source, get target, set source, set target. It's not because we have source attribute and target attribute. No. But we are going to make like another layer on top of first and another layer on top of second. Yes? Yes. Yes. Yeah, I always forget the get ID. Thank you for mentioning this. Right. Otherwise, you're going to have runtime error later on. Okay? So let me take this back to source and targets because just I want to give some meaning to the parameter name, or otherwise any name would be fine. Okay? And now what is requested from us is to make set and get methods. Okay, so here public vertex get source. So what is get source here?
Return source.
Return source. What is source? Yeah. But is there any attribute source here?
No, but we can say super, but get first.
Yeah. we can do super dot
Or just get first.
or just get first. شفتوا الآن get source كأنه غطاء فوق first لأنه source it gives me some understanding. واضح؟ Okay, so I'm going to do the same. Public vertex return get second, and then the set here public
Void.
void set yes
Set first and
set first
and the parameter.
yes ممتاز and public everybody did like this.
Yes.
Okay. One moment. Let me just finish this. نعم. استخدمت ايش؟ هل مطلوب؟ الآن get source هنا مطلوب شيء؟ إيه. أنت الآن get source is going to return the value of get first, which is an attribute defined في الإدج عن طريق الانهيرتنس. احنا الآن عندنا directed weighted edge, extend weighted edge, weighted edge extends edge, وedge فيها first وsecond, فيها get first get second. So in directed weighted edge, the source here is the same attribute as first that is defined in edge. Okay, so if you define a parameter here, vertex v, and you say return v, doesn't make any sense. You are returning some value provided by the user. So why you are returning the same value provided? Huh? Edge. E dot. And why you are doing this? Now you are providing a parameter. Instead of doing this, just use this dot get first. Okay? لأنه this parameter we don't need. We would like to return the attribute of the same class, not of another class. And you are creating another object and you are returning its value. Why doing this? We would like to return the attribute of the same class. واضح ولا لا؟ Is it clear? Okay. ايه doesn't make any sense. And we want the attribute of the same class, not of another one. Clear? Hmm?
Now only two string messages left. Right?
Yes. Okay. So the two string method. So always do not make something that is not requested. Okay? And here I specified. When you need to put a parameter, I put a parameter. You don't need, you don't need. So do you feel that you are improving now? Okay? With the practice, things will become much easier. And you see there is nothing difficult, by the way. And now, return, I'm going to...
The same as the super class.
Yes. It's the same as a superclass. I'm going to bring it here. Can we use super.toString?
Yes, we can.
Okay, how to do it?
But
So I'm going to make here %s. مش مشكلة. Let's see. Super.toString. Yes. How are you going to remove? How are you?
Yeah,
The arrow. How are you going to put an arrow here? Can we use super.toString? No. لأنه التغيير جاي من الداخل. It's not outside. Okay. So here we still need to remove this one. Okay, only removing this one, and it's going to work. So this exercise tells that it's not necessary that every time you have to use super.toString. Sometimes you can use it, and sometimes you might not be able to use it because there is no similarity or the change is inside the toString. So now we are done with the three classes: edge, weighted edge, and directed weighted edge. Next, we go to the graph class. What is a graph? A graph is a set of vertices. الآن حتى في mathematics, when we define a graph, okay, we can graph theory. Okay. So a graph is defined by a set of vertices, okay, and the set of edges. This is how we define a graph. And this is what we would like to do here using our program here. So I'm going to define the class graph. So what is requested? It has two attributes, vertices and edges. Okay, I'm going to create them. So once students actually, let me first finish this. Private. Once you told me, Doctor, why we should have an array list for vertices and one array list for edges. We can have edges, and inside edges there are vertices. That's true. But the problem now, imagine that you would like to list all vertices. In this case, you have to go through all the edges and look one by one, and the extra is going to be too much time. So that's why we create one list for vertices. It contains only the vertices, and another list for the edges. Okay, and then anything you can add vertices to the vertices list, and then you can add the edges to the edges list. Okay, so here we can do equal new array list of vertex, and here equal new array list of edge. What is requested now? We have a full argument constructor. First of all, I'm going to make the getters and setters, so get rid of them. And then we have to add public graph Then set vertices. And set edges. Quite simple. Okay? What else? We have default constructor, public graph. And here in the default constructor, what does it do? It creates two empty list. So in this case, we have to create this one here and this one here. So in this case, it's not necessary to create it here in the attribute location. لأنه in any case, when you create a graph, Either you create it with this constructor or you create it with this constructor. Both constructors, they are going to create vertices and edges that are not null. So now even if you don't make any assignment here, you don't have any risk about null pointer exception, because this one is going to assign some non-null values, and this one is going to assign, okay, create in the memory, so it's going to be not null. Okay? So in the beginning here I just put to avoid the risk of null pointer exception, but since now my two constructors are going to create the objects in the memory, so it's optional. If you want to keep them here, you can keep them. If you want to remove them, you can remove them. But just to have less code, we're going to remove them. Whenever there is a need, we put them back. Is it clear? And then we have the method add vertex and add edge. So we add a vertex if it is not already added. We have a vertex list, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to add the vertex 5. So 5 does not exist. I'm going to add it. Imagine I want to add a vertex 1. It's already there. So I will not add it. I'm going to check with the ID of every vertex. Okay? If the ID is there, I'm not going to add that one. Okay. So now, how to do that? Public add vertex. Vertex V. If okay, we have vertices dot contains. Okay, if it does not contain. Okay, contain, it returns true if there is the same object inside the list, and returns false if there is no occurrence of the object inside the list. And this is what we want. So what does it mean? If not vertices contain V, if does not exist in vertices, in this case we're going to add it. Vertices dot add V. Okay? Else we can do illegal error with exception, or we can do error message or whatever. Just not going to do it now. Void add edge is same thing. Edge E, yes. If not edges dot contains E, yes. Edges dot add E. Is it clear? So the last method, which is probably a bit more complicated, okay, it's public void remove edges. So remove vertex. Vertex V. And here we have some kind of Boolean. Okay. Okay, let me make a small graph. I'm going to open PowerPoint, make small graph here. So imagine that you have a graph. Two, 3, 4, and 5. And here we're going to have some lines between these different things. So this is a graph. We're going to remove a vertex. Okay? So for example, I'm going to remove 3. Now, look at these edges. أصبحوا بدون vertex. Should I remove them
Yes.
in any time? حسب السؤال هنا. If remove edge الآن we have a method. If I call this method مثلا remove vertex مثلا v3 true. If I put true, I need to remove all the edges that were connected to the removed vertex. If you put false, what should happen? Just remove the vertex. هذا هو المطلوب الآن. واضح؟ Okay. So if I put false, I'm going to remove like this. But this is not consistent. If I put true, I'm going to remove this one and this one. Okay? So this is what we would like to implement. واضح? So this is now, we get back to this. If I remove 2 with Boolean variable equal to true, I'm going to remove this one, and this one, so my graph still becomes consistent. Okay. So let's do it. First of all, we're going to remove what? Vertex. Okay? So vertices dot remove v. This is no problem. Let me make it lowercase here, lowercase here. نبدأ الآن. If remove edges. Okay? If I put like this, it means if it is true. Boolean variable, you can just put them like this. Okay. Vertices dot remove what? Like this? Doesn't make any sense. No. What we should do now? We have all the edges. So هذا الآن edge موجود في الليست صح ولا لا؟ شوفوا لي بالأحمر هذوما الآن. So I'm going to make a for loop to go through all the edges one by one. مثلا الآن this edge. Does this edge has 2 connected to it? No. So I will not remove it. Then I will go to the next edge. Does this edge contains 2? No. Should I remove it? No. And then I will move to this edge. This edge, does it contain 2 as a vertex? Yes. So it must be removed.
So
for each edge, we check if the vertex V is a first vertex or a second vertex, we remove it from until all the edges connected to 2 are removed. واضحة الفكرة؟ Okay, so this is what we are going to do. We need to do a for loop for every edge. I'm going to use an enhanced for statement. I think you know what it's about. يمكن نستعمل for int I. Okay, it's the same thing, but this is now more convenient. Okay, for every edge E inside the edges, I will check. Okay, let's take the first vertex. Vertex first. Vertex first. Get first. E dot get first. Okay, and vertex second is equal to E dot get second. But if what? If first الedge هذي I'm going to check if its first element is equal to V ولا its second element is equal to V, I'm going to remove it. So I'm going to compare is equal to what? v dot get id. If I take this vertex, okay, I will check whether the vertex, if I remove this one, if this connection here corresponds to vertex number 2, so I will check the ID, I'm going to remove the edge. Okay, so if لأنه الآن الedge هذا it has first and second. Okay, so I'm going to check this edge. If its first element is equal to V, while the second element is equal to V, I will remove it. Okay, this is what I will do. Okay, so V dot get ID. So if this condition, or what condition can be also, or what? Or the second is equal to V. In this case, what I should do? Remove what? Edges dot remove. Okay. This is a translation to what we said. Okay, we remove the vertex. If this is true, I look at all the edges. Okay. If the first element of the edge is equal to V, or وإلا the second element is equal to V, take it out. واضح? Okay, and that's pretty much it. Okay, I think now with this example it should be clear. Is there anybody that did it correctly? Not fully. Okay.
The last one, the last part.
Yeah. Okay, so we are done with the class graph class. So next time we're going to create this graph. It's very simple, this one. But next time we're going to do it. Okay.